What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get started with today's video, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close, and we are now on the road to 500 subs. Who knows? Maybe we might hit 500 subs by the end of the year. Only time will tell. But as I have said in previous videos, if this channel does get to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners over at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. By checking them out, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. On the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, a Piece of Exodia, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed. The possibilities are out there. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners at Collector Store, on the hopes to potentially pull a collector's rare out of this set. But it wouldn't be the first time that I pulled a collector's rare, because I also pulled this. Freshly pulled out of my Genesis Impact box opening that I did a few months back is a collector's rare Beat Cup from the Underworld. This thing looks absolutely beautiful. If you missed that opening, definitely check it out. It was incredible. The centering on the back is a bit off from top to bottom. There's a couple of scuffs here and there. It's like a white dot on the card, but honestly, it's all good. I am planning to get this card graded at some point. Just never really came up with a good opportunity to do so. But with that being said, if you guys want to see those boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue. Maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue. Deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos, or maybe, just maybe, you guys want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which ties into this week's episode, which is this: who do you guys want to see challenge Lyra Valkyria for the NXT Women's title? Let me know down in the comments below, because for this week's episode, that is exactly what we are going to be talking about, is who exactly will be the first in line to challenge Lyra Valkyria for the NXT Women's title. Now, not only is this going based on who's on the current NXT roster, but this is also going on basing on who is on the main roster as well, because as we had seen in the past, there have been a few superstars from the main roster who have challenged for the NXT Women's title, and one of them was obviously the man Becky Lynch, and she became the NXT Women's Champion. And Becky was right; she had more title defenses in a month than Roman Reigns did in a year, and that's saying a lot. That is saying a lot. But I have comprised, after looking at who exactly is on the roster currently, I have comprised of the 8 women who I personally believe deserve that big opportunity to become NXT Women's Champion. And we kick things off obviously with the newest member of Damage Control. Now is Asuka. I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are thinking, wait a minute, Asuka, why her? Why Asuka of all people? here's the thing. She's still undefeated in NXT. Her last victory was against Roxanne Perez in a hellacious matchup. And not only that, even when Asuka was the NXT Women's Champion, she was still undefeated. She dominated the NXT Women's division with an iron fist as its champion. She had to relinquish the title because she was getting called up to the main roster on Monday Night Raw. And since then she's had what? 2 Raw Women's titles, a SmackDown Women's title, a WWE Women's title, and also not 1, not 2, but 3 WWE Women's Tag Team titles alongside Kairi Sane in the Kabuki Warriors, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss. So if you, and not only that, she's won Money in the Bank, she's won the Royal Rumble, and she's also won an Elimination Chamber match. So that makes her the ultimate Grand Slam champion. The only thing that she's missing currently is another NXT Women's title under her resume. And I think, honestly, that right there definitely proves that Asuka deserves that shot at the NXT Women's title, especially against Lyra Valkyria. That would be quite the battle that Lyra would have on her hands. Speaking of battles, Blair Davenport. I know that this might be a bit of a weird choice, but to be fair, the last time she challenged for a women's title in WWE, she suffered a knee injury, and she was out of action for well over a year, and we didn't see her for a while, and now I think the last time we saw her in NXT was at No Mercy, where, wait, no, it was actually it was the NXT after No Mercy, where Blair Davenport, if I remember correctly, she defeated Gigi Dolan 1-on-1, and then her previous victory after that was against Kalani Jordan at No Mercy. So, to be fair, Blair Davenport has had quite the interesting amount of victories under her belt, and I think, honestly, challenging for the NXT Women's title would really help boost her confidence, because if she became NXT Women's Champion, think of how dominant she could be. Think of the women that she would be in the ring with. Women like Becky Lynch, women like Tegan Nox, women like Bayley, Asuka, Zelina Vega. The possibilities are out there for Blair Davenport. But next up, I personally believe that she definitely deserves a rematch for the title, and that is the man Becky Lynch. Halloween Havoc Night 1. Becky Lynch got a little overzealous, and it backfired completely, and Lyra Valkyria walked out as the NXT Women's Champion. Obviously, Becky Lynch is deserving of a rematch, but there's been a lot of rumors going around as of late that she could potentially be the 4th member of Team Bianca for the Women's War Games match at Survivor Series, because there's been a lot of rumors going around over the last 48 hours that Survivor Series will feature Damage Control against Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Shotzi. Think about that. Think about how many of those women have been inside of War Games before. Out of every last one of them, the only ones who had never been inside of War Games are Kairi Sane and Charlotte Flair. Those would be the only two who have never been in War Games before. Everyone else, they've been in War Games before, especially Io Sky and Bianca Belair, because they were in the first ever women's War Games match at NXT Takeover War Games in 2019, and they were on the same team. And now you guys have seen it, opposite sides of the spectrum, and this will be the second year in a row that Bianca Belair is dealing with damage control. And honestly, if Becky Lynch is rumored to be the fourth member of Team Belair, then until Survivor Series comes to a close, Becky Lynch won't be able to challenge for the NXT Women's title. But I don't really think she wants the title again. But who knows? But next up, speaking of rematches, Roxanne Perez. Ironically enough, she never got her one-on-one rematch. There's been rumors going around saying that Roxanne Perez is slated to qualify for the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge at NXT Deadline, which honestly, that would be huge, because if she were to win that match again, she could challenge Lyra Valkyria and take the title off of her, and that right there would be her one-on-one rematch, because she never got it. Ever since she lost the title, ever since she lost the title earlier this year, back in April at Stand and Deliver in that ladder match, Roxanne Perez has not been the same. She has not been the same whatsoever, and she's at a point now where she wants to be the NXT Women's Champion again, but at the same time, she wants to be called up to the main roster. She wants to face against the best of the best that WWE has to offer, whether it was Asuka, whether it was Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Asuka, Kairi Sane, Zelina Vega, Shotzi, Becky Lynch, Xia Li, Tegan Nox, Natalya. The possibilities are so out there, and at this point, fans are pretty much conflicted. What do they want more? Do they want Roxanne Perez on the main roster, or do they want her to stay in NXT and try to become a two-time NXT Women's Champion? It's a conflicting scale, if you will, because no one knows what they want. They want both, but they can't have both. It's one or the other. Me, honestly, I think Roxanne Perez is ready for the main roster. So for me, in my honest opinion, put her on SmackDown, because think of who she would be up against. Think of the talent: Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, all of Damage Control, Asuka, Bayley. You got a lot of talent on SmackDown who literally every single person, every single woman that's on the SmackDown roster has either won singles gold, the Royal Rumble, or has won tag team gold. And that right there would be the perfect setting, if you will, for Roxanne Perez, because she's done everything that there is to do in NXT. NXT Women's Tag Team Champion, Breakout Tournament, NXT Women's Champion. You can't deny that at such a very young age, she has been a dominant champion. So I have no doubt in my mind that Roxanne is deserving of a rematch, but no one knows if they want her to get that rematch or just send her over to the main roster. Speaking of of the main roster. Next up is Tegan Nox. Obviously, she's probably one of the most underrated talents that WWE has right now. And I say that with a bit of not confusion in my eyes, but rather with confliction, if you will, because if you guys forgot, she was supposed to have been in the first ever Mae Young Classic back in 2017, but she couldn't. She suffered a knee injury. Then she took part in the second tournament for what was it? The first round, if I remember correctly. First round, suffered another knee injury, and we didn't see her for a long while. And then she got sent over to NXT UK for what was it, maybe almost a year. Then she got called into NXT for a short while. Then she got called up to the main roster on SmackDown with Shotzi, but Tegan Nox got released literally months before WWE was going to go back on the road. And now she's back, and people are forgetting how good she is in the ring because she's being used as a jobber, if you will, or I guess a mid-carder, if you will. The way I see it, Tegan Nox has the potential to be a megastar in WWE on Raw. And if she were to go up against Lyra Valkyria and take that title off of her, that would be a huge first step. But here's the thing. She's teamed with Natalya to try and take the WWE Women's Tag Team titles off of Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, or as some people like to call them, Karen Mania. Yes, you heard me right. Karen Mania is running wild on Monday Night Raw. Who knew? But with that being said, even if she wants the women's tag team titles, I can tell that she wants the NXT women's title as well. So it's possible that she could challenge, but it all depends on how she gets booked. And it's the same thing with everyone else, with Roxanne, with Becky, with Blair, with Asuka. It all depends on how it gets booked and how it can be booked to become a main event match, if you will. That's WrestleMania worthy, if you will. But speaking of rematch, since we're on the topic of underrated talents, Thea Hale from Chase U. Yes, it's true that she's teamed with JC Jane. The problem is the fact that JC Jane has had a tendency to turn her back on her friends, and Gigi Dolan is the prime example. Because they are two-time women's tag team champions in NXT, and they dominated with an iron fist. And alongside Mandy Rose, when they were in Toxic Attraction, Toxic Attraction just completely overpowered the entire women's division in NXT, and Toxic Attraction became literally the talk of everything social media. You know, even though Braun Breaker and Dolph Ziggler were the NXT champions, Toxic Attraction was literally the talk of everything social media. And now she's decided to be a part of Chase U, and Thea Hale has now become this bad girl, I guess, if you will. The way I see it, the only reason why she's acting this way is because of the fact that at the Great American Bash, Andre Chase threw the towel in, stopping the match when Thea Hale was locked in a submission. And Thea Hale knew that she could break out of it, but Andre Chase did not see it that way. The way I see it, if Thea Hale were to qualify for the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge and wins the match, she could be the one to challenge for the NXT Women's title, and she could win the title and bring it home to Chase U, the same way that Andre Chase and Duke Hudson had brought the NXT Tag Team titles into Chase U. But we found out that tomorrow night on NXT, a rematch from Halloween Havoc, as the family, Stacks and Tony D'Angelo will challenge Chase U for those titles. Not sure if things will be different or if things will remain the same. Only time will tell. But I truly believe that Thea Hale is one of the most underrated talents in history because of how good she is. At such a young age, one of the youngest talents that we have in WWE right now, she could be a very dominant champion if booked right. But that brings us to the final two. Next up is Xia Li. Yes, it's true that Xia Li has become extremely dangerous, putting Candice LeRae on the shelf, putting Becky Lynch on the shelf, knocking out a security guy last week on NXT. So that right there proves that she is deserving of being a champion. And what's crazy is that she was always told to seize your opportunities when the moment is right. The moment is right. The moment is now, and she's trying to seize her opportunity. And with NXT Deadline coming up in a few weeks, one can assume that maybe we might see Lyra Valkyria defend the title against Xia Li at NXT Deadline. Is it possible? Absolutely, but we will have to see what happens. But that brings us to the last superstar, and honestly, this one is gonna be a bit controversial, just because of the fact that right now she's dealing with a bunch of bullshit in the LWO with what Santos Escobar did to Rey Mysterio, not just at Crown Jewel, but also on SmackDown this past Friday, and that is Zelina Vega. Yes, it's true that she's a former Queen's Crown winner, but also a former women's tag team champion. Yes, that may be the case, but let's not forget, outside of WWE, she's won championships. She's won championships outside of WWE. More specifically in TNA, when she was a part of LAX, the Latin American Exchange. Her and Sarita, I think was her ring name. They both became the Knockouts Tag Team Champions. So think about that. She has experience, and she's been in the ring for a long time. The problem is that with her in the LWO, she's becoming more and more of a manager, if you will, more than a competitor in the LWO. And I think now her time has come. Her time has come to want to become a champion, and I think going back to NXT and becoming the NXT Women's Champion might just be the perfect start. But let's not forget, Xia Li wants wants that opportunity. Roxanne Perez wants that rematch. Tiffany Stratton wants that rematch. Blair Davenport. You know damn well that Blair Davenport has her eyes on that title as well. But let's also not forget Lola Vice. She won the second ever women's breakout tournament by defeating Kalani Jordan with the help of, obviously, none other than Elektra Lopez. And with Santos Escobar now heel for the first time in what seems like forever, there's been rumors going around saying that he's planning to reform Legado del Fantasma and bring in Angel Garza, Humberto Carrillo, and Elektra Lopez into the main roster, and Dragon Lee is planning to be a part of the LWO as well, which honestly, it's a good idea, but only time will tell. So you do have a lot of talent, a lot of female talent who want that opportunity, but it all depends on who will seize it first. And right now, Xia Li is, but it seems like right now Xia Li is first in line. But these are the women who I do see challenging Lyra Valkyria for that title. But I want your guys' opinion. Let me know down in the comments below who you guys believe should challenge Lyra for that title in the foreseeable future. And with that being said, that'll do it for this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.